Now, I've spent over 25 years with these translating targets of accuracy, clarity and literariness. The accuracy has meant reproducing the grammatical forms and structures of the underlying language, so that if a word is plural passive, I translate it as plural passive and I don't translate it as a noun. And if a word is a plural noun, I don't translate it as an adjective. And these things, I swear, are what goes on in the King James Bible and others. So reproducing the grammatical forms and structures. So that's the accuracy. The second translating target is the clarity, which speaks for itself. So I had in mind wanting every reader of any age over perhaps 8, 9 or 10 to at least be able to understand what's being said, even if not grasping the entire whole significance of it. And my 18-year-old son would come to me with questions, and then we'd realise it was the way it was expressed, and I'd make it more clear. So being on this endless endeavour to make everything sparkling clear. And the third translating target is literariness. Now, being trained in classical poetry and literature, I hope I've been able to bring the benefits of that along to the word choices and the punctuating as well, as that's an important element of it. So everybody has heard of Psalm 23 and has some recognition of it. And I remember being at school and singing "The Lord's my shepherd, I shall not want." And I used to think, this is really strange language. I only was in about the first or second year of grammar school, and what's this, "I shall not want"? Of course, I didn't understand then the full eccentricities and wonders of the English language, but of course now it's a little archaic. But there are word choices to be made as well as the grammatical structures. So by reproducing the grammatical forms and structures, I found that the literary style of the underlying writers naturally emerged without having to create or being forced to create my own style, which I'm afraid is what the others do. And Dr. Robert Alter described some versions as schoolboy journalism, and that, I'm afraid, is the case. But there is also, as well as these grammatical forms and structures, there is also the word choice. And so I hope this quality of literariness is reflected in my rendering of Psalm 23. Yahweh is my shepherd, I will not be in want. In pastures of tender grass he makes me lie down. In waters of quietness he leads me. My life he restores. He leads me along inside the track lines of righteousness for the benefit of his own name. And even though I might walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no malevolence, for you are with me. Your rod and your staff, they gently guide me. You prepare right in front of me a table in the presence of my enemies. You anoint by smearing with oil my head. My cup overflows. Surely goodness and mercy will follow me all the days of my life, and I will make my residence in the house of Yahweh for the length of days. Now that final phrase, for the length of days, is exactly what it says, and it does not say forever. It is for the length of days, and is an expression for the coming kingdom, and appears elsewhere. And as I read there, to waters of quietness he leads me. Just outside here we have the flowing River Rother, which goes through Hampshire and West Sussex and merges with the River Arun at Pulborough. And my brother and I used to fish just outside here in these waters of quietness when we were little boys, and here I am about 65 years later, 60 years later, with my own translation of the Bible, and praise the Lord God.